Okay.
Thank you so much, Brother Phap Vu,
You're
for being
welcome.
here today. So you're a monastic in the Order of Interbeing, founded by Thich Nhat Hanh, whom we affectionately call Thai, which means teacher, doesn't it, in Vietnamese?
More like a beloved teacher.
Beloved teacher.
Yeah, or someone that's very revered, a revered teacher.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
And you are a Dharma teacher yourself.
Yes, I am.
And so how would you define a monastic or even a lay Dharma teacher?
Well, I don't think I would separate those two, not really. I would just go with teacher. It has more, I don't know, it has more characteristics in some ways. But how would I define it? Someone who is willing to learn is first, and someone who is okay with offering. And that okay can help make us segue into other questions.
Okay.
See? Okay.
So is there anything in particular that you do to prepare for your teachings?
Right. It depends it depends on what I'm teaching. If I'm teaching a class on a sutra or history of Buddhism or maybe some Buddhist psychology, concepts of Buddhist psychology, then yeah, you need to do some research on that and cross the I's and cross the T's and dot the I's, as they say. But if it's on practice, then no, I pretty much go off the cuff. I do generate what I want to say, maybe even how I want to say it. But after that, I just let it go. And sometimes it's a bit different than what I had imagined. And I think that's the way it's supposed to be. Yeah. Because you're coming from a place of the interior and your intentions. And human beings, we're not robots, and so there's a bit of a play in there of how it turns out. Usually, there are times where I've over prepared, and then when I actually sit down to give the teaching, I look at my notes and I think, okay, let's just throw this out.
So would you say that it's kind of a two-way street with whoever's receiving the teaching?
Oh, most definitely. You really get a different energy, and I'm not just talking about the energy of the room or the person or the people out there, but the energy inside. And this is all connected. The energy between people who are interested and those who are kind of passerbys, Oh, I just showed up. I've never seen a monk before, versus people who really want to know and really want to understand.
So in what ways has the practice helped you be a better teacher?
Wow, I'd have to say pretty much everything. Yeah, pretty much everything. Because to be an effective teacher, you have to feel good about your skin, your person, your being. You have to be open to making mistakes. You have to be open to changing course. So that need of fluidity, and sometimes that can be very challenging because you want things to go this way and you want things to go that way. And that's not life. We try, but quite often we end up with different results. So the practice has helped me over the years to allow myself to be open to this life experience of teaching, rather through, rather than from sort of this conceptual idea of teaching, but rather coming from a deeper place and letting things unfold.
That's very interesting, letting things unfold. So, I was speaking about clarity and joy and lightness of heart, and I suppose that's cultivated with the practice, isn't it?
Yeah.
Is that carried into the teachings?
Oh yes, yeah, most definitely. I could not see doing this if there wasn't an element of compassion, concern for others, wanting something good for others. I really enjoy when people really take on the practice earnestly and they come to me with their successes, and they're so happy and they're a lot freer. And for me, that's what the whole idea is. Knowledge or understanding is freedom. That's steps to freedom. Whether that's understanding of some type of profession you're going into, or understanding of your own processes. Yeah. And those two are very interlinked. Buddhism has this very strong moral teaching because it's understood that how we treat others is typically how we treat ourselves. And how we treat ourselves is typically how we treat others. So it's about developing, one, compassion for yourself, to allow yourself to make mistakes, and allow yourself to kind of scratch your head, what do I do now? Allow yourself, all the frailness of being a human being, right? And we're allowed that. And then have that compassion towards others. Yeah, there's no difference between compassion for yourself and compassion for others. Because really, going back to that question, what is a teacher? Going back to specifically the being a Dharma teacher, it's wanting others to be free and happy, yeah, and self-discovery.
So one final question would be, what advice would you give teachers of adults or young adults in order to be more effective or productive, creative, spontaneous?
Yeah, boy, that's a big topic. Do we have another hour? Do we have an hour? One, your willingness to be a student. You can't be a good teacher unless you're a good student and willing to learn things, whether it's about the field or you're learning about things of yourself. That's a little more important. Another aspect in which I touched briefly was caring. Do you really care about the people, whatever age, whoever? Caring about yourself. Those are two very important aspects. I think to be, and this is where another aspect of the practice is being your true self. An earnest teacher, an authentic teacher, a Thai would say, authentic, being an authentic monk or being an authentic person. And learning to be comfortable with your uncomfortability, because there's a lot of that, right? You teach, and you get up in front of people, and yeah, there's a lot of nervousness and self-doubt and maybe some criticism, and this crowd doesn't look too good. Okay, you need to drop all that stuff, and that's where the practice helps. Recognizing the stories and the psych outs, and the fear, basically that's fear, and clinging on to the self. And the practice is really there to help you recognize when you are going through that. So you can go back to the breath, relax the body, relax the mind. Because out of that essential aspect of letting go of those things, in one hand, yeah, they're still there. Like every time I get up to do a Dharma talk, yeah, it's still there. It's still uncomfortable, but I'm okay with that. And one of the most important aspects, another important aspect, is having a good sense of humor and allowing yourself to laugh at yourself and situations and just let things roll off your back, as we say. Yeah.
Great. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. I've enjoyed it.